Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
We have been given a gift by God today to usher in a new dynasty.
Now you get RFK Jr.
Don't you want a president who's going to make America healthy again?
You get Tulsi Gabbard.
Putting our country in a continual state of war.
You get Elon Musk and you get J.D. Vance.
A hell of a way to start the next 4 years.
The right-wing Avengers.
We have an army of digital soldiers.
Department of Defense under Donald Trump will achieve peace through strength.
Shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one.
The rescission of 78 Biden-era executive actions, executive orders, presidential memoranda, and others.
The golden age of America has most definitely begun.
Begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay.
They're getting the dirt bags off these trees.
There's one guy who can fix this shit, and it's Donald Trump.
What's storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out.
Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poison in their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. Politicians hide themselves away. They only started the war. Why should they go out to fight? They leave that role to the poor. Lord, yeah. Time will tell on their power minds, making war just for fun, treating people just like pawns in chess. Wait till judgment day comes, oh Lord, yeah. Now in darkness world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power, hand of God has struck the hour. Day of judgment God is calling, on their knees the war pigs crawling, begging mercies for their sins. Satan laughing spreads his wings.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. My name is Josh, and welcome to the Red Pill Project's Daily Dose. Live with you Monday through Friday. I hope everybody is doing well out there. A little bit of a late start tonight. We had a wrestling tournament, and my daughter got injured, but she's okay. Got another one tomorrow morning, and tomorrow should be normal time for everything. My son had one match tonight, did really well. Probably a pin in like 45 seconds. It was pretty badass. A lot of things happening in the world, but it's not a surprise to this audience, is it? Everything that we see happening right now in the world is exactly what we've been saying was going to happen in the world. This is the movement towards this multipolar framework. This is Donald Trump going out there and exerting the power of the United States of America first and fully. The first time that we've had a president of the United States take the whole might of the United States and say, you know what? None of you guys can compete with us. Good luck catching up. It's pretty amazing to watch all of this. And we're getting all little hints and subtle clues from everywhere. And so tonight's show is The World is Watching. The world is watching Donald Trump. The world is watching Minnesota. The world is watching Iran. The world is watching Russia, Venezuela. What is Europe going to do? Unbelievable what is happening right now. We are in probably one of the most tumultuous times in known history. I mean, this time right now, wow, what an amazing time to be alive. It is revolutionary. I mean, it is a reasserting of freedom and liberty, not only here in America, but around the world. And doing it on the 250th anniversary year of the United States of America's foundation. Whew, man. The Department of Labor, you know, this is interesting. This is really interesting, guys. I don't know if you caught this. I caught this. It was like the first thing I saw. Look at this. Like, remember when Alpha and I broke down General Flynn's video? His various videos he was posting. Basically, the message we got from that is that the boards are now on X and Truth. That the boards are now public. And that you can watch for them to come to life. And here they are, right here. Trust the plan. Well, I'm trusting the plan, but only for so long. It says trust Trump. Now, interestingly enough, there's a timestamp that goes with this. That timestamp is 5:27 is when they posted this at 5:27 p.m. And post 5:27 is quite interesting. I'm going to tell you why. You got Monday in kill brackets. It says next week, bigger, public. We listed 2080, 46. 2080 is greater than the 4060. Now, what's really interesting about this post is look at the date, January 13th. That's next Tuesday. And it says Monday. Now, nothing could happen. Nothing could, I don't know, maybe nothing could happen. Or we could see some holy shit type of moments actually coming. And I think that with everything going on in Minnesota right now, and with the ramping up of what JD Vance was talking about today, we're going to see fireworks by Monday. Another post, when you go to Trust the Plan, there's tons of references to Trust the Plan, but this one right here was the one that stood out for me. Fellow patriots, what you're about to learn should not only scare you, but intensify your resolve to take back control, freedom. The information that will become public will further demonstrate the criminal and corrupt, pure evil abuse of the power the Hussein administration undertook in joint efforts with domestic and foreign dignitaries. The snowball has begun rolling. There is no stopping it now. D5, stay the course. Trust the plan. Protective measures are in place. Remain brave. We knew this day would come. United we stand. Worldwide, where we go one, we go all. We fight. Conspiracy no more. And then you got the Q flag up there with patriot versus a traitor. Buckle up, guys. It's happening. Now, if you remember why this is so important, is because just last week, and this is what MJ is saying here, the department later posted Trust a Plan, Trust Trump, that this comes days after they posted Patriots in Control. Wow. Pre-planned. Now, it could be nothing. It could just be a marketing tactic by the Trump administration. Like, let's get those Anons on board with us and keep on making promises that we don't keep. Or what we're seeing so far with 2026. My headset is all fucking jacked up. What we're seeing so far with 2026, we could see arrest inbound, indictments inbound. We could see Insurrection Act coming as soon as Monday. We could see shit hit the proverbial fan. I think my headset got broken. If you look at it, it's like lopsided and it's bothering the hell out of me. Okay. Well, I guess it's time for a new headset. Just a quick one, a few different things before we jump in to what's actually happening today. Tonight, right after this show, we are doing a live Q&A. So that'll probably be about 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. If you are a premium subscriber, you can get in on that. That's going to be X, Substack, Social Red Pill, or Locals. If you are a premium subscriber on those platforms, the links will be shared on those platforms. It's Zoom, so make sure you have that loaded. That's directly after the show ends. Another thing is we have a contest, I guess, if you want to call it that, on Rumble. If you get 1,000 likes on our Rumble, 1,000 likes, there will be 50 subs gifted to the Red Pill Project. So if you guys can help me get to 1,000 likes, then we can get those 50 subs out there to all of you guys. So that'd be pretty cool. All right, let's just jump right into this. So President Macron of France today came out and said, the U.S. is gradually turning away from allies, breaking free of international rules. Now, I love how he uses the word breaking free from international rules. Now, this goes back to the museum analogy we talked about yesterday, right? That just because there's rules and laws in place doesn't make them the standard for freedom, for liberty. Look what Europe is doing. Look what Europe has done to themselves. They're talking about banning X. They're not about free speech. They're not about liberty. They're about control. That's the formation of the EU. In 2 weeks, Donald Trump is going to speak in Davos. I would have a massive amount of security if I was him going there. But with Macron coming out and saying that Trump is gradually turning away from allies, breaking free from the international rules, what he's really saying is he's breaking away from the international order, from the globalist order. And what was Donald Trump's response to this? Just a reassurance of his national security strategy. Listen to this. President Trump declared Wednesday evening that his power as commander-in-chief is constrained only by his own morality, brushing aside international law and other checks on his ability to use military might to strike, invade, or coerce nations around the world. Asked in a wide-ranging interview with the New York Times if there were any limits on his global powers, Mr. Trump said, yeah, there is one thing, my own morality, my own mind. It's the only thing that can stop me. I don't need international law, he added. I'm not looking to hurt people. In other words, he just told the globalists, he just told China, he just told Russia, all the fuck off. Donald Trump just said, we are going to do what we have to do to survive, to lead this multipolar world, to lead the world into tomorrow. That we are not going to let China get one up on us. We're not going to let European nations undermine us and keep us in endless wars. Instead, America is paving its own path forward. This is absolutely huge. I mean, shit, this is what I voted for. This is the President Trump I've been waiting for. Someone who looks at the globalists, who looks at the world order and says, nah, I don't like you very much. You don't really do much. We're your military. You don't spend enough on anything. You're tyrannical to your people. You know what? Fuck you. We're going to do what we want. Oh, you want to criticize us for going into Venezuela? We don't give a shit. What are you going to do? Go to war with us? This is awesome. This is what I voted for. And so yesterday we learned, so you have Delcy Rodriguez, which is the interim president of Venezuela. Donald Trump obviously taking 50 to 80 million barrels of oil from them. We had the President Petro of Colombia yesterday acquiesce to Donald Trump, capitulate, stand down. He's coming to visit him in the White House. It looks like we have Venezuela and Colombia and all the other nations. Brazil was weeks before this, all capitulating to Donald Trump. Donald Trump also came out yesterday and told Venezuela to cut and sever all ties with China and Russia. Now, this is interesting because today, a Cuban government jet circled Venezuelan airports and did not get clearance to land. Ended up turning back and going to Cuba. Why is that important? We know Cuba has been that intermediary of control through the intelligence agencies that were controlling Maduro and his regime. Okay? Now, 55 Cuban security guards are who guarded Maduro. Now, maybe one of them was a handler. Maybe one of them had the gun to his head. I don't know. Maybe. I think that seems legitimate. But Delcy Rodriguez and Jorge, her brother, they are the leaders of the Cartel de los Soles. They are the leaders put in place by the CIA decades ago. Okay, they are the ones that have been funneling away trillions of dollars of Venezuelan wealth. Well, they're all excited to rise up into power until one day Donald Trump came out and said, "Oh, it was Delcy Rodriguez who threw Maduro under the bus." That painted a big old target on her back. Here's the thing: is the fact that it came out. It doesn't matter if it's true or not. She now has to capitulate to Donald Trump, of which she did. And today was a great indication of this with a Cuban jet coming in and turned around and went home. And Machado? Oh, Machado. That's a Bush era, Daddy Bush CIA operative right there. And Donald Trump rug pulled her ass real fast. So Russia responds after U.S. Special Forces seized tanker that had Russian flag and a military Russian nuclear sub escort. Now, the Bella 1 chase is over. The fallout is just beginning. Russia's Ministry of Transport issued the first official response after U.S. forces seized the tanker, citing the 1982 UN Convention of the Law of the Sea and declaring aborting illegal. Some Russian lawmakers are calling it piracy. The details are stunning. The sanctional tanker received temporary Russian flagging on December 24th. Russian submarines and warships were escorting it. U.S. Special Forces boarded anyway in the North Atlantic, cutting all contact. The Bella 1 spent weeks fleeing the U.S. blockade. When the Coast Guard vessel got within a half a mile, the tanker made a U-turn and ran at full speed. The U.S. assembled an elite maritime special response team to take it by force. The ship is allegedly linked to Venezuelan and Iranian oil runs, with alleged ties to Hezbollah, the Houthis, Iran Quds Force. Russia tried to shield it with a flag and naval escort. The U.S. boarded it anyway. Now, this is interesting. I'm going to show you why. I came upon this last night, and I was like, wait a minute. This reminds me of something. Do you remember when Vladimir Putin met with Donald Trump in Alaska? Trump rolled out the red carpet. He showed them the B-2 bombers flying overhead. And then the next day, Donald Trump posted something on his True Social. Bella. Now, the word Bella is Slavic, right? It means white, but the derivation is from Bella. Beautiful. I just find that really interesting because Russia, Bella, vessel. Now, here's the thing about Russia, though. Russia's all mad. Oh, we're mad. Russia can't do anything. Russia is in a checkmate situation. And I said Russia will scream and yell, but do nothing. Now, why is Russia in a checkmate situation? When you start to look at the geopolitical kind of construct that's being formed right now, and then you look at military strategy, you have to look at Russia from a 40,000-foot view. Number one is you look at Russia's alliances. Russia's alliance are obviously Iran, North Korea, China, Venezuela. Oh, nope, sorry, not Venezuela. And not Iran either, because what's going on in Iran? But just bear with me here. For the last 5 years, Russia has been at a war with Ukraine. Really, not with Ukraine. A proxy war with NATO and the US in Ukraine. There's been massive amounts of spending that have incurred on Russia. Russia has been sanctioned by the West. The only way that Russia is continuously making money is selling their oil underneath Western sanctions to Europe and to China. Over 60% of Russian oil sales are going to China. It's China that is funding Russia in the NATO proxy war. Now, I looked at this from a strategy of why China would do that. When you start looking at the Belt and Road Initiative and what China was doing with their 100-year plan, unrestricted warfare, you start to understand that China was basically positioning themselves globally to become a hyperpower. Not a superpower, they're already there, a hyperpower, beyond anybody else. At the same time, the United States was being destroyed and brought down economically, socially, and politically. China was rising up as a massive world power that was going to control resources, trade routes, and other countries, and political interest in other countries. Donald Trump has completely reversed that in less than 12 months. But China looked at it in the context that, hey, if I can get Russia and Europe into a proxy war, the U.S. under Article 5 would have to support this through NATO, which means that I can deplete both the military resources of Russia and the United States simultaneously. Therefore, as they decline, we rise up. Pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, this has now backfired on Russia. And I want you to look at it like this. Russia, I've said from the get-go, could end this at any point in time that they want. China must have some type of defense pact agreement with them to continue it. Now, Trump knows this. Trump has defunded Europe and Ukraine, basically forcing Ukraine into some type of ceasefire agreement. Russia understands this. They've already taken most of the Donbass. They're most likely going to take Odessa, which would end this war and give Russia massive advantage in that region. This is actually part of the ceasefire agreement, that Russia would retain that whole eastern Ukraine Donbass region, control the oil and energy there, and then sell it back to Ukraine at less of a profit. This is the agreement that Trump and his administration have actually agreed upon because it's beneficial to Vladimir Putin. But there's a problem. At the same time, Donald Trump has just taken out Maduro, which was one of the allies with Russia. He's undermining Russia in the Western Hemisphere after he told Russia and China, get the hell out of the Western Hemisphere. At the same time, a few weeks back, Trump gave $11.1 billion of defense weapons to Taiwan. China immediately responded saying, don't do that, and then put export restrictions on silver through the PLA, through licensing, and then did a live fire exercise embargo around Taiwan. What was Trump's response to that? Delaying the Maduro raid 4 days, waiting for the Chinese foreign minister to arrive in Venezuela, meet with Maduro, and a few hours later, scooping him with Delta Force, killing over 100 Venezuelans and Cubans, taking Maduro, extraditing him out of the country while the Chinese foreign minister sits in his hotel. So Trump just eliminated an ally for China and Russia. Next, you have Iran. You have an active color revolution going on in Iran. Khamenei and his regime, the mullahs, they will be gone by the end of the month. I give it till January 31st, if that, when this all ends, when the Khamenei regime is overthrown. It could potentially even be next week or in the next few days. Delta Force is already on site. So what's that going to do? Well, that, number one, removes another ally directly from Russia. Now, when you start to see that Donald Trump is picking off your allies, not caring about the international rules and laws, now you sit there and you have North Korea, China, and Russia. But you have North Korea, China, and Russia, but when you start to look at resource allocation, this is where it becomes a problem. See, China can't work and operate on Russian oil alone. It needed a 3-vector shipping transit to go under Western sanctions so they didn't get interdicted. With Iran potentially falling within weeks, with Venezuela already fallen and kicking Russia and China out, Russia becomes the only component to China's survival for energy. Unless China moves back into the open market, starts buying energy directly through OPEC and other nations. So Russia is now looking at their primary ally, China, who is getting absolutely embarrassed and hammered on the global stage. Russia is being embarrassed and hammered on the global stage. But here's the thing. If Russia responds in kind to the United States, if they start seizing U.S. tankers and Trump goes military on Russia, Russia's done. Russia is eliminated. Putin knows this. Putin knows that he cannot win against Trump, and he can't win against Trump and NATO. Because Trump could easily just say, hey, NATO, you know what? Let's bring Ukraine into NATO. Fuck Putin. Let's go full-blown war. He could do that. And Russia is not in the position to win right now, which means that Putin, in the context of game theory, has an option. Trump is utilizing game theory to go out there and eliminate all the different options from the table, only leaving one or two for his two opponents. His two opponents are China and Russia. He doesn't care about China right now because China comes to a stalemate the moment Russia is removed from the stage. He's removing Iran and Venezuela, two key energy holders for China. That is detrimental for China. I'm not worried about that right now. Now you focus on Russia. Putin has a decision to make. The decision Putin has to make is, I can align with China, lose all my progress in Ukraine, and now have a multi-fronted war with the West, NATO, Europe, and the United States. Or I can align and ally myself with the West, with Trump. I can keep all of Eastern Ukraine. I can have all this energy, and all I have to do is stop selling oil to China under U.S. sanctions. And the great thing is if I align with Trump, the sanctions go away. That's fucking checkmate. So when you start looking at the whole global stage of what's going on, this is huge. What we're watching right now. We're witnessing it in real time. History books are going to be written about this, man. I'll probably write one. All right, so looking at the global perspective, China, Russia, the United States, that's where we're at. And it's highly volatile because, remember I told you, forget about China for right now, but when you start to focus on China, in game theory, China is only left with a few options. Number one, capitulate. Capitulate to the West. So you know what? Okay, we're going to buy oil from OPEC and U.S. refineries, from Venezuelan oil and in Russia proper when it's back on outside of Western sanctions. And what does that mean? That means that there's economically assured destruction. If China wages war at any time in the future, you simply cut off their energy supply through either proxy sanctions or direct sanctions. That's capitulation for China. Or China says, you know what, the hell with it, move on Taiwan. And if they move on Taiwan, you'd see that same proxy energy sanction enacted. You would see an embargo in the Black Sea of Russian oil. You would see Iran, which is about to fall, Venezuela about to fall. In other words, China would only have 100 days worth of strategic petroleum reserves if they decided to move on Taiwan. If they moved on Taiwan right now, they would take it in less than 12 hours. But see, Donald Trump's smarter than that. Right now, there is economic stability between the United States and China. If China goes into Taiwan, they have leverage, but they lose massive amounts of civilian support structures, supplies, grain, meat, all of this stuff coming into their country, stuff that they don't produce in-house. So it's a very trying time because this could go kinetic real fast between the U.S. and China. But when you pull Russia off the table, it makes it way more proficient for Trump to win any type of kinetic engagement with China. In Taiwan, though, that AOR, that's a very hard one. But you do have South Korea, you have Japan, you have the Philippines, you have Guam base out there, you have Kwajalein. We have a lot of assets that can be there within a matter of days. So we'll see how that unfolds. Just a really interesting time to be alive. Today, President Trump erupted at Senate Republicans who voted to approve the War Powers resolution that would rein in his Venezuela operations. Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, Rand Paul, Josh Hawley, Todd Young, they will never be elected to office again. And I agree with that, is that in 2028, when they're up for re-election, it's over. Done. They'll be gone. So if you go back and follow my earlier of 2025, when we were talking about the coup of Iran, the overthrowing of the mullahs and Khomeini in Iran, I wrote a whole Substack blog on this. I was on various different shows talking about this. One of the people I mentioned was Reza Pahlavi, and he is the Iranian crown prince of the exiled Shah. Now, next week, he'll be speaking at Mar-a-Lago. Now, what day is he speaking at Mar-a-Lago? I love this because you're gonna put two and two together here, okay? Iranian Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi to speak at Mar-a-Lago on January 12th. Guys, that's Monday. Why is that day so interesting? Well, it's interesting because if you go back to a post that we just went over, you remember Trust the Plan? The decode for Trust the Plan said what? Monday, next week? So I think that's our hint and indication. Monday next week, we could be seeing something massive coming about. And what I mean by that is Iran being held responsible. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into the Iran stuff. I got to send a link out here to Tammy. She's going to come in and join me for a little while at the end of the show. But let me go ahead and do this. Guys, we got the Rumble wallet set up. You can see right there by the Red Pill Project on the Rumble screen. It says tip, and through there you can scan the QR code and send us tips directly through the Rumble wallet. So listen, they can freeze your account, shut off your cards, lock you out of your own money overnight. Banks don't protect you, they control you. That's why real financial freedom starts with ownership. Introducing the Rumble Wallet, a wallet built for people who refuse to give up control. With Rumble Wallet, you don't just buy digital currency like Bitcoin and Tether. You can own Tether Gold, real gold, on the blockchain. Through Tether Gold, you get direct ownership of physical gold bars, each one fully allocated, verifiable by serial number, purity, and weight. This isn't paper gold. This isn't an IOU. This is real gold without bank vaults, storage fees, or gatekeepers. You can buy, sell, or move it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when traditional gold markets are closed. And if you want, Tether Gold can be redeemed for physical gold. That's powerful. And when you support creators on Rumble, you can tip them directly using Rumble Wallet, peer-to-peer, secure, outside the banking system. No permission, no middleman, no cancel button. The wallet is yours forever. And as well as you can send creators gold. Love it. Rumble is making some waves and changes, guys. That's huge. All right. Let's move on over right now and talk about Iran a little bit. So in Iran, the streets are flooded. There's massive fires. They're taking down the internet. They're knocking out electricity. Iran has sent troops into its own cities. The rumor mill is suggesting that the Ayatollah Khomeini has left Iran and headed towards Russia. It's still a rumor. It's unconfirmed as of right now. Trump says that the U.S. will hit the Islamic regime very hard if they keep killing people on the streets. And guess what they do? They keep on killing people on the streets. Now, we got some intel that came in yesterday, open source intelligence. Delta Force operators who captured Maduro now repositioning to the Middle East as Iran crisis escalates. The same special operations units that captured Nicolas Maduro days ago are now allegedly moving into the Middle East. Over a dozen U.S. strategic airlifters have crossed the Atlantic to to Britain and then eastward, many carrying helicopters operated by Night Stalkers, the elite unit that flew Delta Force commandos into Caracas. Delta Force has reportedly pivoted to the Middle East, with Army Rangers and air assault forces from Europe being repositioned rapidly. Delta Force operators are reportedly taking position along Iraq's borders with Syria and Jordan, possibly targeting Iran-backed militias refusing to disarm. Flight tracking shows U.S. and British refueling tankers headed into the region. An unexplained black route across Greek and Cypriot airspace on Monday may have masked U.S. asset movements. American intelligence aircraft are operating continuously off Iran's coast. The CENTCOM commander just made the long journey to Bahrain. Trump warned last week that if Iran killed more peaceful protesters, the U.S. was locked and loaded and ready to go. That is when the death toll was in the single digits. Now it stands at 35. Iranians are propping up stickers across their streets. The stickers say, Trump, Iran is waiting. It's in Persian. The people of Iran are calling for a revolution. We are about to see the fall of Iran. We are about to see the fall of Khomeini. We are about to see the rising up of Reza Pahlavi in Iran as the leader. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take 5 or 10 years. But what that's going to bring about is the Abraham Accords, quite literally. Peace and stabilization in the Middle East. And you got to remember how we looked at this with the framework that is built out. Why do they want to build skyscrapers in Syria and in Gaza and hotels? Because once money starts flowing in the context of investment infrastructure, nobody in power is going to bomb $1 billion worth of investment infrastructure. You ever notice that the only cities that get bombed are the ones that have 100-year-old infrastructure? Or the ones that need replacing? Because very rich and powerful people control the world, and they control when bombs drop. So if you start to westernize, modernize, and build out modern-day infrastructure all throughout the Middle East in places like Iran, Iraq, Gaza, Syria, you're not going to have massive bombs dropping on those areas. It is going to westernize very, very fast. And that's going to be pretty damn huge. Going into Minnesota real quick, and then let me go out here and send this. Excuse me. I got to send this out real quick to my good friend Tammy. Got to take a sip. How we doing on time? We're doing good on time. All right. All right. We are doing good on time. We are doing good on everything else. And we're going to go. There we go. Just send this out. Boom. Okay, good. All right, let's jump into Minnesota real quick. I want you to listen to what J.D. Vance says here because he absolutely nails it.
I'll take some questions, but I want to make just one final observation here. When I was actually walking out here, somebody sent me a photo of a CNN headline about what happened in Minneapolis. And this is the headline. I'm just going to read it. Outrage after ICE officer kills U.S. citizen in Minneapolis. Well, that's one way to put it, and that is the way that many people in the corporate media have put this attack over the last 24 hours. And I say attack very, very intentionally because this was an attack on federal law enforcement. This was an attack on law and order. This was an attack on the American people. The way that the media, by and large, has reported this story has been an absolute disgrace, and it puts our law enforcement officers at risk every single day. What that headline leaves out is the fact that that very ICE officer nearly had his life ended, dragged by a car 6 months ago, 33 stitches in his leg. So you think maybe he's a little bit sensitive about somebody ramming him with an automobile? What that headline leaves out is that that woman was there to interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation in the United States of America. What that headline leaves out is that that woman is part of a broader left-wing network to attack, to dox, to assault, and to make it impossible for our ICE officers forces to do their job. If the media wants to tell the truth, they ought to tell the truth that a group of left-wing radicals have been working tirelessly, sometimes using domestic terror techniques to try to make it impossible for the President of the United States to do what the American people elected him to do, which is enforce our immigration laws. The President stands with ICE. I stand with ICE. We stand with all of our law enforcement officers. And part of that is recognizing that you people in the media, not everybody in this room, but many people in this room have been lying about this attack. She was trying to ram this guy with her car. He shot back. He defended himself. He's already been seriously wounded in law enforcement operations before, and everybody who's been repeating the lie that this is some innocent woman who was out for a drive in Minneapolis when a law enforcement officer shot at her, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Spot on, JD. Good job, man. I'm going to give you my take on this. Number one, this woman was part of a larger group of ICE protesters. They followed ICE around for weeks. They had been stalking ICE all morning. She was using her vehicle to do such. They were pulling out in front of ICE. So ICE actually was just detaining somebody a few moments before this happened. And she pulled her vehicle out in the street to stop ICE from moving forward. The officers approached her vehicle and they told her to get out of the vehicle. They didn't tell her, move your vehicle. Okay? They didn't tell her, move your vehicle over there, lady. Move. They tell her at first, move your vehicle, move your vehicle. She does not comply. They walk up to her, to the dash. He tries to open the door and he says something to her. What's he say? Get out of your vehicle. Get out of your vehicle. What is her reaction? Dumb, stupid, the worst decision that she ever made in her life because it cost her her life. She put it in drive and went forward, hit an officer, gets shot in the head, and is now dead. Now, who's at fault? Is it ICE? Is it the federal officers that were doing their job, their duty? Was it the federal officer who was in fear for his life when a vehicle lunged towards him, hits him, and he takes 3 rounds and shoots one into her head? Or is it the lady who was asked to move and didn't, was approached by federal law enforcement officers who absolutely have the power and authority to detain her and remove her and arrest her, and she was told, get out of your vehicle. She locked the door, rolled up the window, and began to drive fast forward and hit a police officer. I don't care what color you are, what gender you are, it doesn't matter. That was a dumb decision, and it cost her her life. That officer, justified. But the rhetoric that we're seeing come out of Minnesota, this is the concerning part. Governor Walz is going to start a civil war because his ass doesn't want to go to jail. Logically, Minnesota corruption is extensive. The governor and his cabinet are all involved. There's rampant voter fraud that is just now being exposed. The rhetoric of anti-Trump, anti-federal authority coming from the mayor and governor is not anger or outlash for the federal government doing their job. Instead, it's a psychological tactic to incite rage, violence, and rebellion within their voter base. Why? Governor Walz said it yesterday. He has the National Guard ready to deploy if necessary. We can assume he means against the federal agents. If so, this is a direct violation of the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution and is basically an insurrection. Trump would only need to declare an insurrection act, sign the Insurrection Act, federalize the National Guard, which then puts them under his command authority. And then, this is actually bigger than that. What Walz is doing is he's preparing the army of lefties, Antifa, and sleeper cells to take the streets. The motivation is civil disobedience, or better put, civil war. See, they don't want to go to jail, and they will do everything in their power to ensure that they don't. In Minneapolis right now, we have various different Antifa leaders rising up, telling people to take arms and to rise up. The time is now. Unfortunately for them, it's going to be very cold in Minneapolis tonight. It's going to be like 20. So good luck with your revolution at 20 degrees in the middle of winter. It's probably not going to happen because you're not going to get too many damn people motivated. But trust me, they're not going to forget. But you never know. I mean, you remember when we had Occupy Wall Street? You had people out there all the time, and they were out there throughout the entire winter. It was like Chaz for libertarians. I saw Tammy laughing at that one. So, Vice President J.D. Vance revealed that 85% of Somalians in America receive welfare benefits while announcing major fraud prosecutions are imminent across multiple states. According to the statistics I've seen, 85% of Somalians in the United States, legal and illegal, are collecting some form of welfare that suggests that we've done something wrong and vetting. But what they've uncovered is a nationwide fraud ring, and there will be very big announcements in the next few days. Anyone involved will be prosecuted. And this is going to go California, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, Ohio. We could see Tim Walz, Pritzker, Newscomb, all behind bars with this. Just a few hours ago, Customs and Border Patrol officers in the state of Oregon shot 2 people. Why? Well, we just learned why. Because the driver of the vehicle was Trende Roagua and tried to use his vehicle to hit the Customs and Border Patrol officer when he was trying to arrest them. They're not dead. They're still alive. But it goes back to the same rhetoric. Scott Bessent, Secretary of Treasury, says FinCEN has been actively tracking all the fraudulent money activity in Minnesota being moved within the banking system and overseas. This goes to what J.D. Vance was just saying. Next few days, you're going to have something big. This goes to what the Department of Labor did with that trust the plan, and the timestamp goes to Monday. Guys, it's all culminating to a big crescendo. How about this one? The White House just released names funding Antifa, protests and violence in America. The protests were funded with over $100 million of laundered taxpayer dollars by the Democrats. The network of NGOs, George Soros Open Society, Arabella Funding Network, the Tides Funding Network, Neville Roy Singham and his network, Hans Roy Royce, the billionaire donor from Switzerland, Reid Hoffman, multiple others have been identified. So when you go to Scott Bessent, what he was just talking about, hey, we tracked all this money. Hey, we saw all this happening. We saw all this fraud, Somalia, so forth. And then the White House comes out and starts unveiling the NGOs involved. And they all saying that people are going to get arrested. Tim Walz is making moves to ensure that there's civil disobedience or civil war prior to all of this information coming out because his ass doesn't want to get arrested. All right. J.D. Vance also announced that the Trump administration will create a new assistant attorney general position who will have nationwide jurisdiction over the issue of fraud, focusing first primarily in Minnesota. In other words, instead of a special prosecutor or special counsel, they are just going to create a whole new position at the attorney general's office with an assistant attorney general that is primarily going to be focused on the fraud and abuse that's occurring within blue states, probably even red states. Some good news. House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed billionaire investor Les Wexner in connection to the Jeffrey Epstein probe. It's all 3 movies playing at the same time. All right. I think that's pretty good for right now in the set. We can talk about Greenland. We talked a lot about Greenland last night. But I can save some of that for tomorrow. Let me just check this out right here. I'm going to play this ad. Oh, I don't have the time yet. We got 5 minutes. We'll come back and play that ad. But in the meantime, right before Tammy comes on, number one is Tammy's coming on with me, guys. You got to go visit Tammy, redpillhealth.info. redpillhealth.info, and you can check out all the different deals that they have, or coaching, as well as getting involved in her networks. You can also find her on X. I highly recommend you go follow her, Tammy Cuthbert G, or just text her and she'll be like, Tammy, send me your X account and that Red Pill Health website, 720-303-8868. Check that out with Tammy. Number one, We do have sponsors here that we do have to recognize. Tammy is obviously one of them, and she's awesome. So please go visit her. But also GOODBRU BIOTICS, guys. GOODBRU.com/redpill, GOODBRU.com/redpill. Check them out. And then don't forget to get over to one of our premium subscription websites so that you guys can get into my live Q&A tonight directly after this show. That's on x.com. Just become a premium subscriber over there. Socialredpill.com. Premium subscriber over there. There's multiple different memberships there. redpillproject.substack.com. I got like 3 new blogs coming out by the end of this week. And then redpillproject.locals.com. So go check those out if you want to become a premium subscriber and get in on those Zooms that we do weekly. I want to give a few shout outs. Autobahn F1 gifted 10 subscriptions on Rumble. Thank you so much, Autobahn. Appreciate that. Guys, you guys are awesome. I think I had a few Rumble rants come in. I want to make sure that I get them right before I bring Tammy in. We have Gail Time, $5 Rumble rant. I love your attitude, Josh. Always makes me smile and feel hopeful. You're a firecracker. Thank you so much, Gail. I appreciate that. I try to be. Irish Girl Tam, $10 Rumble rant. Josh, you always bring the sauce. On a side note, my crypto account got hacked on Christmas Day. I need to book some time with you. How do I book time with you? Well, glad you asked. How do you book time with me on cryptocurrency? You go to a website and you click on the links. I'm trying to bring it over here. 1 second. Go to thecryptofuture.com. Thecryptofuture.com. And you can book a time with myself. I know it says Sean or myself, but it's going to be me there. Thecryptofuture.com. That's the best way to do that. And then I think I had one more Rumble rant come in. One more. Oh, there it is. GA Critical Care RN. $10 Rumble rant. Hey, Josh, been monthly supporter for years. I know the $5.99 isn't much, so here's a little tip. That's because I love your show. You tell the boys good luck in their matches and wrestle strong. I appreciate you, Georgia Critical Care Nurse. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And thanks for the Rumble rants, guys. That's all that I saw come in on that side. And Tammy!
What's up? Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I get the feeling that you are feeling the same way I am. I'm calling it something. I'm calling it the new Operation Warp Speed. And this is like rapid fire announcements, rapid fire stuff happening because do you remember just a few short weeks ago, Trump came out and said, listen, Republicans, you got to get your you-know-what together. Mm-hmm. You guys got to get
Trumpinator.
He is definitely the Trumpinator right now. You got to get your crap together. We got to win these primaries. The one thing I can say about Trump is he listens to the public square. He does. He's obviously tuned right in because morale was down for MAGA. You know it was.
It was on purpose.
And now, I was saying yesterday on my show, or maybe it was this morning, I can't remember, all my days run together, but I feel re-inspired. You know, so many wonderful things happening in health. We got a new food pyramid. We did it. Like, this is incredible. Incredible. I for years, I've been talking about high protein diet, high fat diet, right? Whole food diet, get all this other crap out of there. And, so we've been beating that drum here for 6 years, with Naturally Inspired, longer. And finally, we have this, who cares what the government says, really? I mean, we're all freedom type people here, but it's just nice to be reaffirmed,
That's right.
It's just right.
They're changing the vaccine schedule.
Yes, this is another big thing. So a couple things that leads to as well. Not only does it lead to freedom of choice, but it releases a lot of liability, right? So, or this blanket protection against liability that our vaccine and pharmaceutical companies have because of the 1986 Act that just gave them kind of, indemnity infinitely, apparently, with whatever vaccine they made, as long as it was a biological, they could get it on the children's schedule, they were getting this, legal protection. Now that's all up in the air. Yes, you can still get your vaccines if you want them. Not a lot of people doing that these days.
There's not.
It is so down. I predict that a lot of them are just going to go away. And there'll be new products in their place, though. Don't be naive. There'll be new products in their place. And I think some of those products will probably be tied to mRNA. And some of those products may be legitimate therapeutics. They may actually come up with some legitimate therapeutics because they now know that people understand what they're up to. And so this is how we shape culture in health, right? We stop buying their crap. When we stop buying their crap, well, then they realize they have to give us different decisions. So many, like, I don't know how you keep all your thoughts straight, Josh. I mean, I've never known how you keep all your thoughts straight. You're just a little too fast for me. But right now it's even crazier because you've got all this stuff going on, obviously in Somali fraud. You've got fraud all over the country. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? With fraud.
But what is the first things that they started uncovering with the Somali fraud? Medicaid and Medicare.
Yes, and non-emergency health transport. Now, you're from Colorado.
Oh, you're all over the place.
Yes.
My friend actually owns one of the businesses.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So they're all over the place here. So that's going to be really interesting. You dropped a whole bunch of names that you think, that they're going to be going after, Pritzker and all the rest of them. Can we put Polis on that list? Can we?
Goodness, please. Let's. And what did Trump say today? Free Tina Peters.
Yes.
So now you got Colorado coming back in the vision. But there is one thing that Trump's done over the last few weeks that you and I have had extensive discussions about. The insurance companies.
Yes.
He's going after the insurance companies.
Yes. And again, listen, that is in the public square. That topic of health insurance has been prominent in the public square, right? It's been on X, it's been on Instagram, just regular Americans saying, listen, I got a bill for an ambulance for $500 before they got my insurance information. Then I submitted my insurance information and then I got a bill for $2,400. Make it make sense, right? Lots of these viral videos. Plus, we've had medical doctors that are recording right out of the operating room saying, listen, I just got dragged out of the operating room away from my patient because the insurance company wants to talk to me about the decision I am making in the operating room in real time. Josh, this is happening. This is how much power these insurance companies have. And people are waking up to it. I think Trump is very much on board with looking into the public square. I mean, look at how he got elected. It was through podcasts. And where do the people spend most of their time now? If it's not through podcasts, it's the actual form of information that people still trust, podcasting. I mean, you have to use discernment. We've revealed a lot here, and you and I have talked about that as well. Paid podcasters, influencers. But I feel like there's a difference now between a podcaster and an influencer. And I think people are starting to understand that. They're starting to really parse apart like what's real and what's fake. So it has never been a better time. I'm inviting the red because I'm all amped up. Let me tell you, I'm all amped up. I've been meeting with people consistently and people are ready to change their health. And so I'm excited to be here tonight because I put together this cool little, and I named it specifically for you guys. I named it for you. It's the Red Pill Stack Pack. And so
it was Josh's choice.
It's Red Pill Stack Pack. 6 products, Josh. 6 products for $100.
Nice.
Yeah. So buy one, get one. It's antioxidants for your cell health. It's omega jellies for your brain health. It's CoQ10 for your heart health, and that helps with cellular energy. But really, I mean, products are wonderful, but you need support. And this is what we've dialed in at Naturally Inspired Community, is that a lot of people know what to do. They know they need tools. They know they need health. They know they should be eating different, but they're not making the jump over to the do part. You know, there's a little bit of a disconnect. So that's what makes Naturally Inspired so different is we talk about the power of your thinking. We talk about tapping into habits, connecting your biology to your mind, right? Because we are all about consciousness, higher consciousness. And so it makes us a little different, but we get results with people, and we are so excited to start 2026 off this way because I just feel like now we have a food pyramid that's on board with us. Oh my gosh, there's another announcement today, Josh, about how they're going to actually mandate doctors to take nutrition classes now. Yes. You know, before they had like a couple of hours of nutrition. Yeah. That's it. Right. And so they're tackling the medical journals. So they're coming after them for pharmaceutical ads. They're not gonna validate their gold standard position in the medical field anymore. The NIH is not going to publish in these medical journals anymore until they clean them up. So we've got that on our side. We've got them pushing for nutrition education in for medical doctors and medical professionals. The health insurance is under attack. Dr. Oz is starting to investigate nationally the fraud through healthcare, through Medicare and Medicaid. It's like, I can't keep up. I'm like so excited about it all. It's so awesome.
I was on my phone because I was looking for this post. This is Deputy Secretary Jim O'Neill. This is the Deputy Secretary of Health and Human Services, right?
Yep.
And what does he say?
The enemy's gate is down. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
And then you have RFK, just a little while ago.
Should not be in our water. Fluoride had a strong justification in the 1940s when it was added and people didn't understand the science and they thought its benefit to our teeth was systemic. And by drinking it, it would enter your body and somehow protect your teeth. Now we know that there is no systemic advantage, zero systemic advantage. And that the only advantage comes from topical application. So it's the water that passes through your mouth. You can achieve that benefit from brushing your teeth. And in the era of fluoridated toothpastes and mouthwashes, it makes no sense to have fluoride in our water. The evidence against fluoride is overwhelming. In animals, in animal models, and in human models, we know that it causes IQ loss, profound IQ loss, and it's dose related. So if the more fluoride you get, the higher levels in your drinking water, your urine, the more likely it is you will lose IQ and also other neurological injuries like ADHD.
Let me tell you, I just hope my old dentist is watching this. Because when my kids were little, I'd take them to the dentist and I would pass on the fluoride. And I know the whole office was just, pss, 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 oh, she doesn't do fluoride. She doesn't do fluoride, right? And now here we are recognizing that there's no, I mean, it tells you on I don't buy toxic toothpaste anymore, obviously, but years ago that, when I would see toxic toothpaste, it would tell you don't swallow it. Don't swallow the toothpaste, right? How come? Because there's fluoride in it. And yet there's fluoride in our water, right? All of this stuff. And I know your audience is the same kind of perspective as we have. It's like, you've had these conversations with people for how long, right? For decades, trying to tell them about the vaccine schedule, trying to tell them about, eating fat-free fake sugar like aspartame. Am I the only one that has had these conversations for years, decades, and argued back and forth with people? And now we're having our moment.
And Bobby just said the other day that 85% of the food on the market is ultra processed, or 85% of the calories that are coming into our children are ultra processed calories.
And 40% of our children are dealing with a chronic illness. 40% of our children. Now, they focused yesterday, Marty McCary did the press conference, right, about the food pyramid and whatnot. And they really did focus on children in the press conference. And I think that's wonderful. Of course, I'm kids first. I mean, I'm all about the kids. But also, I want our population to get, our citizenry to get a little pissed off here. Because the whole campaign of diet culture that we lived through the late 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, it really didn't start changing until like 2010 or so. This is what created this disease epidemic. The nutrient bankrupt, chemicalized, processed foods, fat-free, the telling everybody they need to use willpower to override their biological impulses to eat. You're never going to override your biological impulse to eat. It's like trying to override your heartbeat. It's ridiculous. Eat to satiety. When you eat to satiety, you eat nutrient-dense foods, you get healthy fats, you build muscle in your body for metabolic health. All this stuff I've been saying forever. And these, the actual, establishment is recognizing. So it's so exciting. It's never been a better time to get healthy. I invite everybody in the Red Pill community to join us. Go to redpillhealth.info, purchase this 6-product. I mean, I always feel bad because I know there are people out there that are living paycheck to paycheck, and some of products are just too expensive. They're just too expensive, and I totally get it. Trust me, I wish I could give stuff away for free. So that's why I purposefully designed this deal, because I want everybody to have the opportunity. This is 2 months worth of products for $100. I mean, you just can't beat it. And it'll clean up inflammation at a cellular level. It'll feed your brain healthy omegas that helps your nervous system as well. And the CoQ10 for your heart health, that makes cellular energy. So you'll get some nice energy for it. We always get stuck in this kind of, catch-22 where we know we need to move our body. We know we need to do a little bit more exercise, but we don't have the energy to do it. So It's this, but you don't have the energy to do it because you're not exercising, So it's this catch-22. It's like, oh, I'm so tired. I can't exercise. But also you're tired because you're not exercising. So these tools that I'm offering here tonight, they'll give you that extra boost to get going. And then once you get into the naturally inspired community, it's just going to be different. Let me tell you, it'll just be different.
And they get the free pass into your weekly.
Yes, my weekly Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops. But not only that, I do one-on-one all the time because my health text line is open to all my customers, priority access. So like this morning, somebody texted in this morning, oh, this issue came up. Okay, let's get on it. Here's the research paper. This is what I think. We have back and forth like almost all day with different people that are just going through different things. And you get access to my health priority text line just for being a customer. Then you get the Tuesday night weekly wellness workshops as well. This past week, we talked about weight because everybody seems to want to lose weight. It's not about your body, everybody. It's about your brain. Weight is about your brain. Okay, it's the way you
habits
think.
And behaviors, and
habits, but also hormones. Right? Your hormones come from your brain. So we get into that. We talk about your hypothalamus. We talk about what happens, when your hormones are out of sync, so sleep is a big part of it too. So these are the kinds of topics we talk about on Tuesday night. We're always talking about something new. Sometimes we talk about your nervous system. Sometimes we'll talk about heart health. We talk about all these different things, but we also bring in the thread of mindset, because mindset is so important, and purpose and living in spirit, which is inspired. So it's a great place to be. I'm excited about it. I get such great feedback from everything that we do, and so much love back and forth. It's just really becoming everything I ever dreamed it would be. It really is. So
Well, that's
I
awesome.
want, yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're really making a difference. And we had a small part in this, changes in the administration, but I'm taking some credit for it. You know, I got censored. I did the naturally inspired health summits here in Loveland, Colorado. We had a couple thousand people show up at them through the years. Like, we were really boots on the ground, trying to make sure that we protect our freedom when it comes to medical choices, but also get the word out that there is real solutions for health. It's not just about pharmaceuticals. Right. You don't have to stay there. You don't, but you do have to identify root cause. And then you have to, understand that your body's a synergistic system. It's not just about targeting one thing. It's not just targeting that one thing. It's a system. And so you got to kind of coerce the body back into health. And when you do that, everything kind of falls in its place because you were made wholly and wonderfully, and you were born to thrive. You were born to thrive. So I hope everyone will join us in the naturally inspired community because we're pumped for 2026.
That's it. Guys, redpillhealth.info is the website, redpillhealth.info. Also go text Tammy at 720-303-8868. I'm pretty sure she can text you that link over if you don't have it. Tammy, I appreciate you joining me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you as always.
A late show for me, and I know you jumped on there, so I appreciate it. We're going to have you on next week, I think twice next week. So
okay, cool, because I want to drill some of these other things out that we didn't get to talk about.
There's a lot. We got to talk about AI.
Yes.
You heard what Elon said.
I'm going to send you the podcast that I covered yesterday. He's saying we don't, just real brief. He's saying we don't need to save for retirement. He says we're already in the singularity. He says nobody understands the tsunami that's coming. Oh, it's stressing me out.
I understand it. But I'm still, we're going to talk about it next week, guys. So
okay, cool.
Sure. Yep. And then, guys, I am heading over to the live live Q&A on Zoom. It's directly after this. The link will go out on all these platforms right here for our premium subscribers on x.com, socialredpill.com, redpillproject.substack.com, and redpillproject.locals.com. So I'll see you guys just a few minutes. I thought, oh man, I don't even have my outro video all available yet. Jeez, Josh, what are you doing here? I could probably get this up pretty fast. Give me 1 second.
You're slacking. That's what you're
I
doing.
must be, man. I don't know.
It's cold there. I'll give you some grace.
All right, guys. Much appreciated. Much love, respect. I will be back with you tomorrow. We should have a normal show time, and I believe there is a fringe tomorrow. I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated and let you know. But much love, respect. God bless. Take care. Have a great night. We'll see you next time. Good night.
Good night, Red Pillars.
There was a time when our children stood tall, hand on their hearts, one voice for all. There was a time when honor had weight, when the flag was a symbol, not a debate. There was a time when our history was known, with pride in the rules that made us our own. There was a time, respect for the brave, for those who bled, for the lives they gave. Now the homeland burns to silent war. Truth is twisted, we can't ignore. Voice still calls. We the people will not fall. There was a time, but the time isn't near. The great awakening was a time when truth was clear, when the media served, not ruled by fear. There was a time when leaders stood fast, guarding the people, defending the past. Now corruption wears a crown, lies are fed to tear us down. But Q said watch, and Q said see. The silent war will set us free. From the front lines, soldiers stare, wondering if we're still there. Their blood, their hope, their sacrifice will not be sold for a last prize. There was a time, but the time isn't near. The great awakening is here. Dark to light, the veil undone. Patriots rise, we are one. Land of the free, home of the brave. No more silence, no more slaves. Answer the call, take back the fight. Children of freedom, stand for the light.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on. Or we will spend our sunset years telling our children what it was once like in the United States where men were free.
There was a time, the time is near. The great awakening is here. Dark to light, veil undone. Patriots rise, we are one. Land of the free, home of the brave. No more silence, no more slaves. Answer the call, take back the fight. Children of freedom, stand for the light. There was a time, there was a time. Now is the time. Do it.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation. I want you to get mad.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
The more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
These people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy.
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented. It's as simple as that.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"